What's up, guys? Eric Codes here, and today's topic of conversation is why WordPress is the most valuable tool for any freelance web developer out there. Okay, and I know it's a bold claim, but it's the truth. And I think we should put a little asterisk by that statement saying the one man or woman, girl power, the one man or woman show, right? So if you are all by yourself in this development process, this is what you need. It's the most valuable tool for you, okay? And here's why. So the first thing I think I should say about anything else is WordPress is very easy to sell, okay? So if you are already a web developer and you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, okay, that type of website is only going to be for particular people, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that usually what happens is, for me at least, trying to sell the idea to somebody that every time they want to change something, the smallest little wording on their website, that they're going to have to get in contact with me, it puts a sour taste in their mouth, okay? Because think about it from a business owner perspective, right? You're putting all your eggs in this person's basket. If they ghost you, God forbid something happens to them, right? And you need to change and you can't get in touch with them, that's pretty scary. Especially if your business is really takes off from the website, or if your business is really dependent on your website. So it's really nice for them to have that ability just thrown out there. So when you're trying to sell a site, or you're trying to sell yourself to be a developer for a particular business, it's really great to be able to mention WordPress, okay? People know what it is. They've heard of it. They know people use it, right? If I was to say, I'm going to build, so I always pick on React, but React's great. I hope everybody understands. Like, I love React. It's awesome. But if you were go to somebody and try to sell them on the idea of, I'm going to build it in React for you, they'll be like, I don't know what that is. I don't care. So WordPress is kind of like a layman's term that people understand and recognize, and they know that their peers, fellow business owners, right? They've said, our site's in WordPress. So it's a much easier sell for you as a developer to be like, I can do it with WordPress for you. They're gonna love it. Again, they know what WordPress is. Number two, WordPress is easy to learn for them. And number three, they get that feel goods of, I can control my content. So that's, I think, the first and foremost thing that you need to understand about why WordPress is the most valuable tool in your arsenal as a freelance web developer. Okay, that being said, number two, the amount of out-of-the-box functionality that WordPress gives you is incredible, okay? You literally go to WordPress.org, you download the files, and you put them on your web server and you have WordPress. Or for most web servers, it's a one-click install. And with that comes a login system, security, the ability to add plugins and extra functionality, like a built-in post system. So even if, you don't, even if you're not doing like custom development, right? You just need a landing page to give them a blog section. It's a 2-second process. It's already built into WordPress. So you have all of that, plus like not only a login system, but permission levels, right? So if you're doing this for a company and they only want certain people to have certain access to things on the website, and they don't want other people to have access, you can change that. Or if they want people to be able to log into the website, but they don't want them to be able to access like the back end of stuff. You have the ability to have a login system, not only for administrators and people that need to do stuff at the back end, but front end users as well. A whole comment system is put in there as well. So like use comments on posts. Like the amount of stuff you get, not only out of the box, but for free, it's incredible. You know, now say what you want about like, you know, Automatic and Matt Mullenweg and what he's doing with what's going on with WordPress. It's besides the point, you know, free. You know, it's an open source project where you get all that out of the box stuff for free. So if you were to do all that on your own, weeks of programming, testing, checking security, managing a way to do permission levels. You just don't get all that, right? And then there's things built in to help with SEO and caching, and there's all these things that if you were to do the site from scratch without something like WordPress, it's gonna take a lot. Now I know there's other libraries out there. There's Laravel, there's Ruby on Rails, there's a lot of other things that you could use. But man, when it comes to just what you need as a web developer and to get it up fast and running, can't be WordPress. Third thing, and you heard I kind of alluded at it before, but the third thing that's going to be super important is you have the ability to add functionality through either plugins that are already available and themes that are available, or this is where the world I live in, the custom development of themes and plugins. So when you say that you're a WordPress developer, there's two types, okay? Type number one are the people that go, they buy a pre-made theme, and they set up a site for somebody. They use Elementor, which is a plugin, or Beaver Builder, again, a plugin. They use one of those website builders to create the site in WordPress. That's one type of WordPress developer, okay? If you're a freelance developer, most likely, you can do that, but you're most likely probably going to do the type of development that I do, where you're creating a completely customized theme, completely customized plugins for the business needs of the company that hires you, okay? So that I just want to make that distinction, okay? Because not only, and I'm not going to say that I don't use plugins. I use plugins all the time. One of the best plugins, is using analytic plugins. They're free. They do a great job. You can do stuff with them and then they have like paid versions where you can do even more, but like you track where people are coming from, what device they're viewing your site on, what pages they're spending time on, what the bounce rate is, like all that information. And all you gotta do is install the plugin. Again, make that from scratch, weeks, maybe a week. It's not gonna be easy. You have a lot that you have to track and you have to do. Again, with WordPress, one click, plugin install. All of a sudden you're like, hey, I really want to be able to have reviews on my site. All of a sudden you want to add reviews. There's a plugin that does it. Sure, you could do your own plugin, or you could use one of the free plugins that's out there. Again, it's not the end of the world because I do it all the time, where if I have like a custom way that I want things to look and come into, like for comment section, I'll do my own. You just make a custom post type for reviews. I'm sorry, not comments, reviews. Make a custom post type for reviews. Give them the stuff that they need. Can make a field for how many stars, 1 to 5, and be able to pull that in from a custom post type. So, and I think I'll get into that maybe next, but that's huge, right? And like I said, if you live in that world where you just do a theme and then just kind of make it for somebody. Same thing. I mean, Elementor's a plugin. You can buy themes that other people have made, adjust the colors, that sort of thing. You can't do that when you're building from scratch, right? And I guess, you know, the ultimate, I don't want to say it's not reciprocating, reciprocal, no, cyclical, that would be the word. The cyclical thing that you notice here is time, right? Yes. Could I make all these things? Yeah. But it's going to save me a lot of time. Time is money. The more websites that I could do well and get up and running, the more, or the faster I can do one, the more I can do, right? So I'm not stuck making an analytics system for every single website that I do and just kind of tailor making it for them all the time. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, if there's something that they need that does need to be tailor-made, then you make a plugin to do that, right? And I've done that many times before. You know, I actually have a plugin that's for WooCommerce, which again, all of a sudden somebody wants a store or they're up and running and they want to sell merch. One click, install WooCommerce. It has all the payment stuff there. Like, you don't need to deal with API. Well, maybe you have to do API keys, but you don't have to understand API keys and getting calls back and authenticating everything. Like, the plugin will do it for you, right? WooCommerce has it all figured out for you, and to do it well. I mean, so there's that, right? So it's got custom themes and plugins. You know, there's a bazillion things that you can do. Number 4, if the functionality that you need, the theme, right, doesn't exist, or the plugin doesn't exist, you can make one, right? And like I said, I've made one for WooCommerce before, which was a mass variation updater. So basically, if you've ever worked with WooCommerce before, I have a client that has about 450 plus individual designs. And so the way that their site is set up is you buy a design and you can have that design made in different options, whether that be like a pen or a cup or kind of whatever. You have the ability to change that variation, right? So I want it as a pen. It'd be the same thing as like having something in a hooded style or not a hooded style, or something in small, medium, or large, right? If you don't know what a variation is. But the thing is, to add a new variation to a product, you must go to each of those products, make the variation, put the cost of it in, and a few other things that you need to do. So it becomes selectable on the actual page itself. And that sucks, okay? No matter what way you slice it. And there were a couple times where they reached out to me and said, hey, we have a new variation. Would you mind doing this? And it was like hours for me to go into each individual thing, add the variation, add the cost, right? Like, it just sucked. So I looked for something that was available. I couldn't find it. So I made it, right? And now what once took hours takes 2 minutes. You go in, it's a plugin, you put in your name of the variation, you put in the cost of the variation, you put in what you want to exclude. So if there's certain products you don't want to include this variation in, you put in the exclude separated by a comma, and you hit run. It does it all for you. Updates the whole thing within a matter of 2 minutes. Amazing, right? But again, that's directly into the WordPress ecosystem. That's custom development in the WordPress WooCommerce ecosystem. So it's, if you're a developer out there and you're like, oh, yeah, that's for chumps. That's for people that don't know how to develop. You're wrong. Like, you know, there's a lot that you can do. So again, when it comes to WordPress development, basically you can do anything. The only thing that you have to do is you basically have to live within the rules. You have to follow the rules that WordPress sets. And yeah, it can be annoying at times, but so can the rules of React, so can the rules of, any sort of thing that you're using, right? That's it. Like there's rules to follow, you have to follow them. So, but again, the fact that you could take a website that's already up, somebody says, hey, I want to sell merch, at the click of a button, maybe an hour of your time, you could have them selling a t-shirt through their website. I mean, he can't beat that, So again, those are like the encompassing things for why WordPress, if you're a freelance developer, why you should learn WordPress, why you should know it, why you should be proud of it, because it's going to land you a lot more clients, right? People know what it is, right? They know what it is. There's a zillion things for you to add to your site. There's a zillion things that are already done for you, out of the box. And then anything that you can't get, you could still just custom code and get whatever you want out of it. So again, for those reasons, and for the fact that it just basically, end of the day, wrap it all together, it speeds up your development time. I mean, what do you think? Do you want to be able to do a website a week and get paid, whatever you're getting paid for websites? Do you want to do one a week, or do you want to do one a month? I mean, it's up to you. Me, I'm going to do one a week. I'm going, that's, who knows? It could be even less than that. It could be a couple days. You could do one every 2 days, depending on what you're doing. So again, up to you on what you want to decide out there and who you want to listen to. But for the longest time, I listened to shitty advice online about people who, influencers that tell you to do this or tell you to do that. Like, it's all bullshit at the end of the day, right? Just because something that they like, right, or they think is cool or is challenging, doesn't necessarily mean that it's what's best, And again, this is real world, firsthand. Somebody who felt that way was like, oh, no, WordPress, I'll never use that. I use it all the fucking time, all the time. And it's 100% the cash cow of my business. It is what drives the business. As soon as I say, hey, I could do this in WordPress, or sometimes it's even just asked ahead of time, hey, can you do this in WordPress? Man, it's what people want. Give people what they want, okay? You as the developer, you probably know more a lot of the time. You probably could build something so awesome that doesn't look like WordPress. It doesn't have to follow the rules, but it's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you time, and it's going to cost you money. Not how I do business. It's not how my business survives. So anyways, that's my take on why WordPress is the most valuable tool to have in your tool belt as a freelance web developer. It's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and it's going to get you more clients, end of the day. So anyways, hopefully there were some nuggets of information for people out there that need it. Again, I do always offer coaching, so reach out to me if you're interested in that. We can do WordPress coaching, PHP coaching, JavaScript, whatever you want. We'll talk about it. And again, my coaching's different. I'm all about teaching you how to apply it, not cerebral learning. How do we actually apply the learning out there? So, Sarah Coates, have a good one, man.